Good evening, guys, and welcome back to the Posh Foundation Champions League Challenge. And as you saw in the last episode, we were crowned the champions of the championship. And we finally won that all-important promotion to the Premier League. And we did it in some style, 97 points on the board, 29 wins, 10 draws, 7 losses. We scored 96 goals. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Conceded 45, 51 goal difference. Just absolutely phenomenal. We did so well to not only match up but surpass the levels shown by Bournemouth and Norwich and Burnley and Sheffield United, Swansea, Middlesbrough, all these teams that are, you know, consistently challenging for playoffs and promotion spots. And it's fair to say that we sort of broke the mould. And let's see the season preview from that. There is no season preview. Is there? No, this is this season's. Okay, so we can't look at that. But absolutely phenomenal. What I'm going to do in this video is take you through where things went right. When we had to adapt to certain situations, how the team looked towards the end, and who sort of was a standout player for me in the season just gone. So first of all, let's look at the results. Now, we had a great preseason. We didn't lose a game in preseason. I thought we prepared well. We scored goals. Cargbo and BRF right from the start were scoring, and then we had a pretty topsy-turvy start to the championship, to be completely honest. A great opening day result against Norwich, followed by an early exit from the Carabao Cup. Again, something we'll be still looking to try and improve on going into this season. We then beat MK Dons, but that was followed by a 2-1 loss to Watford, a 1-1 draw at Derby. We beat Sheffield United. Again, I sort of had that hope that we could maybe do something special from there. It was a 93rd minute goal from Alexi Hino, but then we went and lost to Sheffield Wednesday and drew 2-2 with Forest, and all of a sudden that hope dwindled massively. But from there, we went on a pretty good streak. We won our next 7 games? 8 games, rather, in a row, including a 6-0 thrashing of Reading, a 4-1 thrashing of Portsmouth, and comfortable wins against the likes of Wigan and a big win against Burnley. I think that was a turning point. And also experimenting with different formations. We stuck with the 4. It's got down as a 4-2-4. I see it more as a 4-2-2-2 with forward player. I see why it says it as a 4, but I don't see it as that myself, because I'm expecting those wingers to get back and defend. From there, we had again a little bit of a rocky period in November and December. 2-0 loss to Bournemouth. Wasn't great. However, following that defeat to Bournemouth, we then went on a crazy unbeaten run. And we actually only got... Oh, what happened there? The whole game just glitched. So there was a Bournemouth loss. Oh, I just clicked on Bournemouth. We went on a crazy unbeaten run, actually, following that. Only picking up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7 draws. 7 draws out of all of these games. Plenty of wins. We had a decent run in the FA Cup before crashing out to Liverpool, unfortunately. Then a bit of a tricky spell. Got ourselves back into it. I was worried. I will admit, I was worried here. I thought we were going to throw it away again. We've seen it in the last couple of seasons that our stamina going into the real tail end of the season wasn't good enough. But a big win against Norwich, followed by a win against Sheffield Wednesday, and we turned that right around. Even losing to Watford, I still had confidence that we could see it out, and that's exactly what we did with the others, sort of falling at the final hurdle. And then we lost 2-0 to Stoke on the last day. Didn't really care about that, but overall, a really, really good season. Not many points dropped, and ultimately we did enough to finish in the top spot. And this is the formation that allowed us to do just that. We remained with this formation. We tended tended. We were quite often we would swap this position around. Sometimes we play Henderson a little bit further forwards, maybe Doumbia sometimes. Quite often we sit with two holders. I think this season I'm going to go for this. A little bit more asymmetrical, just provide a little bit more attacking support to that front four. Now, as you can see, I have made a couple of signings, and I will go through them very, very soon. But this is the tactic we played with, and some of the players last season that were just, quite honestly, phenomenal. Start with Mika Biereth. What a season he had. He is 24 years of age. We've got him on loan again. It may be, depending on how the season goes, we may look at on keeping him permanently come the end of the year. But we also have another striker who has come in, which again I'll get onto, and we'll see how it goes, because I can see Cargbo getting left out in the cold just a little bit, which is mad, because this man had the season of his life. The man from Sierra Leone, he scored 27 goals in 33 games last season, a 7.41 average rating, top goal scorer in the league. He won Player of the Year in the Championship. He did everything possible. Absolutely wonderful season, and a massive factor in our title push. I have to say, Bilbao, again, another player right up there. I can confirm we have signed him permanently. He is a Peterborough player. We signed him from Spurs for £11 million. I think that's a bargain. Again, really good last year. 7.2 average rating, 6 goals, 6 assists. I would like to see a little bit more in terms of goal contribution, but he does so much more than that. He links together the game. He is, he's great at dribbling. He's got really good technique. His off-the-ball movement and work rate is pretty good, and his physicals are outstanding. He's 22 years old. He's going to get better. I have to say, this man once again had an outstanding season. When Leif Davis left us, I did worry, because Leif Davis had such an impact on the squad and an influence. I did worry that we wouldn't be able to replace him, but Alex Cochrane has come in and just done an amazing job. 27 years old. He's probably not going to get much better. As you can see here, he did briefly go up in ability, declined again. He did have an injury. He picked up an injury, but really, again, an outstanding season. 3 goals, 8 assists, 5 player of the matches for a left back, and a 7.34 average rating. Really, really good stuff from him. For me, this has to be one of the most heartwarming transfers I've made. Bringing Augustin Roldan back from Watford. I don't know what they did with him, to be honest. They didn't even play him. He played 6 times the season before and then didn't play. We signed him for $6.5 million. Ended up signing him for just over $3 million less than what we sold him for. We've made a great profit on him. And he came in and did an amazing job. 7.27 average rating, 2 assists, no goals, and 2 player of the matches. But again, he's 22 years of age, and he's going to get better. Now, it has to be said that our goalkeepers last season were phenomenal. We had Harry Burgoyne come in and do an amazing job as our number 1, and Jason O'Reilly as well. Again, continued to do what was required as sort of an understudy. Whether or not he'll get the chance to do that again this season, I'm not too sure, because Harry Burgoyne has handed in a transfer request. Talks broke down following a contract situation. We tried to offer him a new contract. He wasn't prepared to be a sort of a squad goalie, backup goalie. Completely understandable, of course. So maybe that he looks to leave. I'm not going to actively look to sell him because I think he's phenomenal. But I'm anticipating Arsenal coming in with a bid. As good as Burgoyne was, I am aware he is one of arguably a few players who are sort of in their prime, if not beginning to go past their prime and begin that decline down, as we all know happens. And some of those are the likes of Lozano, Dembele. He's one who I'm expecting to start declining, as we see here. He did so this season. Again, had a good season though, not too bad. Part of me wonders, should we try and cash in on him now? He's potentially worth about £20 million. Are we going to get that if we keep him for this season and he doesn't doesn't do too well. I don't know. One to think about. We'll see what bids come in. Jordan Rossiter didn't really feature much last season. We're going to look to try and sell him off. Unfortunately, no one wants him at the moment because his wages are extortionate. One player I have to mention is this lad. Now, when I signed him, I was very disappointed. He got off to an awful start. Really bad start. As you can see there, he had a 6.78 rating. Only played 9 games, but just wasn't doing it for us. However, last season, one of our best players, aside from Cargbo, amazing player. 7.25 rating, 10 assists, 1 goal, 4 player of the matches. Phenomenal influence, and a really good partner for our captain, Idrissa Doumbia. Again, this is another player. I hate to say it because I really like him. I'm actually thinking of selling. We could get about 20 million for him, maybe. He's on 33.5 grand a week. And unfortunately, he's just not as good as some of the other players that we've got in the squad. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do about him. So with all of that taken into account, we have reached the promised land, so to speak. We are in the Premier League. We're in the top flight in England. And now our journey really begins, trying to get to the Champions League, of course, and eventually win it with Peterborough. We're in a really good position to not necessarily do it in the next year or two, but begin building towards that. Obviously, our first priority is remaining in the division for the next season or two, and just beginning to establish ourselves as a Premier League side. Now, I feel like we've got a really good mixture of experience and youth coming through, and some absolutely quality youth. Is it going to be enough to keep us up? I really hope so. At the moment, we're 2,000 to 1 to go down, according to the season preview. But, I mean, that doesn't mean anything, right? Doesn't mean anything. Just seen the total transfer spending is 666 million. Moving on. I'll go ahead and show you our schedule for the new season, which obviously has been released. We're doing a preseason tour at the moment in France. We've played 1 friendly so far, smashing VAFC. Matisse's ex-team. 4-1. We beat them in the friendly. VAF with a hat-trick. Not too bad. Bilbao got a goal as well. We've got Auxerre, Angers, and Crusaders coming up. In terms of the Premier League, we kick off our campaign in the Premier League. First ever Premier League game for Peterborough against Manchester City. I mean, it couldn't be much harder. Manchester City at the Etihad, followed by Fulham. We've got the Carabao Cup, which we're not sure who we've got yet. Brighton. Then we play Sheffield United and Southampton. So not a bad start for us. Apart from City, potentially some winnable games in there. I'll be very happy if I come out of the first 5 games with maybe six points. I'll be really happy with that. I think that'll be a solid start. Now, I must add, we have signed a new contract with Peterborough as well. They're so happy with what's happened. They gave me a new contract. We're hitting all our targets at the moment, which is really good. And now our target for the end of this season is to fight bravely against relegation. A few things have happened in terms of the club and things that we're trying to improve. We have increased the wage budget. We have begun planning to improve our youth academy and the prospects that we get through there. We've increased the recruitment analysts' wages. We've brought on a couple of new scouts. We've got some new medical staff. We've brought in about 4 or 5 staff members. So we are beginning to really expand our club. We've also, I think, we had a stadium expansion rejected. Now, that was something the board were trying to do. I had no input on that. I think what they've settled for in the end is heated seating or something like that. So that's happening. Cost 2 million, apparently. But that is the state of the club at the moment. I must say, this is probably the longest I've spent in the preseason and the most patient I've been. Barely any time has gone. As you can see, I'm on July. I've played a little bit today. Played a couple of hours at least. Just really trying to sort out everything. Scouting being one of them. We've got, like I said, we've now got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. We've got 6 scouts aside from the 2 assigned to analyse our position and so on and so forth. And we've got our scouts out in force, scouting various things. We've got, we're looking at players coming to the end of their contract. We're looking for a goalkeeper who can come in. We're scouting we're scouting a couple of competitions. What is it? Here we go. We're scouting the Under-21 Championship, the World Cup Asian qualifying section, the North American Gold Cup. Lots of different things. We're looking in France and England for youngsters with potential and all sorts, really. All sorts. So they are set up and we're getting, players in their abundance. I spent a little bit of time manually searching for some awesome regens from certain nations, and I think that leads me on perfectly to the transfers that we've made so far. As always, we'll begin with the outs, and the first out is Jadel Kotongo. Decided not to renew his contract. I didn't think he had made enough progress at the age of 22. It wasn't going to be someone getting into our team anytime soon, so we have allowed him to leave. He has gone to St Mirren, so I wish him all the best. Howson Burrows, a player who I think you've seen every transfer window go out on loan to somewhere. Never really been able to cut it in the first team. And again, not somebody that's developed a great deal, despite his loan spells to various teams and leagues. 25 years of age, he's not going to get anywhere near our squad. So we've sold him, and we actually made a little bit of money. We sold him for £275,000. I'm happy with that, to be fair. The first big transfer out, really, Liam Henderson's left. Didn't feature a lot last year. Only played 16 games for us. Did very well in those games, it has to be said. 2 goals, 4 assists, 1 player of the match, and a 7.09 average rating. Came from Empoli for £85,000. We sold him for £5.25 million. So some really good profit made there. I've got nothing bad to say about Liam Henderson. Maybe a little bit inconsistent, struggled with confidence at times. Morale at times took a hit. And now he's 31 years of age. He could improve a little bit. He's got good sort of work rate. It's in his locker. He's a leader. But again, just someone who's not going to get near our team, and we needed the money and to free up the wage bill. I've decided to loan out Dimitri Cornes again. Still bags of potential. His value has gone up massively. What did we sign him for? He's currently worth nearly £8 million. We got him for free. So we're probably going to make profit on him at some point. At the moment, he's gone on loan to Charlton. Again, just not going to get much game time this year. He's nowhere near the standard of Stefan Matisse, who is a year younger and miles better. So we'll see how he does out on loan. Loads of potential, so I'm not going to get rid of him anytime soon. But speaking of getting rid of people, I know, finally, Zidane Iqbal's left. I feel bad. I signed him quite a while ago now. When was it? Back in the 24-25 season, we signed him for £475,000 from Rotherham, actually, after he left for United on a free. Struggled to break into the first team properly. Had a few appearances for us in the first season, barely featured the following season, and then on loan. He did okay at Oxford, to be fair, but again, he, based on the players that we've got, hasn't developed as quickly as I'd like, and is nowhere near first team standard for us. And to the ins, Bilbao. Rodolfo Bilbao. I mean, what can we say about him apart from he is just awesome. Really, really good player. Now, we have to remember that we've lost Ricky J. Jones and we've lost Cometio, 2 massive players. So I was very focused on replacing Jones and making sure we get quality in that can match up to what he gave us. And Bilbao, although he played alongside him, is going to fill that position that Jones leaves. Quite often we played him on the left-hand side, and Bilbao does very, very well there. Now, the only thing that worries me is his stamina isn't great. His fitness has got better. I'm hoping that he maybe kicks on this season. He's 22 years of age. and he's going to get lots of first team opportunities. The first signing of the Premier League era, aside from Bilbao, first new signing, we've brought in Nick Pope. Now he's 35 years old, still amazing. I think you'll agree, really, really good. We signed him. We paid £2 million to Aston Villa for Nick Pope. He was barely playing for Villa after they signed him. He's been at Bournemouth actually. He was at Bournemouth during their journey to the Premier League and then back down to the Championship. For some reason, didn't really feature for them in their return to the Championship. It's because Villa bought him, but then he didn't play for Villa, so I can only assume that he was a backup. If they still got their keeper. Let's have a look. They've still got Martinez, so I can only assume he was playing backup for Martinez. They've also got this Mickey Van Sass. Looks pretty good, to be fair. He's got a bit of potential. But yeah, we now have Pope joining us. I thought, one, we've got a little bit of an issue with the current goalie, Burgoyne. And two, I think we need a little bit of Premier League experience in the squad just to help us and guide us. And Nick Pope offers plenty of that. So as you can see, I was raiding the players nearing the end of their contracts. This is one who was Ben Gibson. We did pay a little bit for him, £52,000. Norwich signed him from Burnley for $8 million, and we've got him for 52 grand. A very good player, old-ish, 34 years of age, still very, very good, mentally really good, technically pretty decent for his age, physically still a beast. He's going to be starting for us. I may have made a mistake with this one. Just putting it out there. Ahmed Muhammad. He's 21 years old. He's Welsh. I'm going to try and loan him out. I don't know why I did it. I'm sorry. And the first of three really exciting signings for me personally. This was one of the results of my sort of research into some of the teams around the world. We looked at the Belgian national side, looked at their under-21s and all their other teams. This lad was brought to my attention. Andre Kramer can play centre mid, centre attacking mid. We could have the next Kevin De Bruyne on our hands. I'm just going to put it out there right away. Looks very, very good. Really good potential. Good physicals for his age and pretty good technicals. He's got 15 technique, 12 passing, 12 dribbling. I think he can be a really important player for us. Won't start games, but with the squad being trimmed down this season, he will get plenty of opportunity to impress. We signed him for 725 grand, so one of the cheaper of our signings, and I think that's going to prove to be quite the bargain. I'm going to leave the best till last, but this guy certainly is not bad at all. 23 years old, Burak Ince, I think it's Ince, has joined us. A Turkish under 23 player now. He is an advanced playmaker. Can also play central midfield or centre attacking mid. A really, really good player. Really loads of potential. Really good technicals. Really good mentals. 17 vision. I mean, that's huge. He is going to be hopefully unlocking defences with his balls. Don't. We signed him for 3.4 million, so we're dipping into the funds that we got for the Premier League promotion. Signed him from Sporting Lisbon. I hope he's going to be a good player. He's pretty much spent his whole life in Turkey and Portugal, so let's see how he gets on in the Premier League. And for now, what is our final signing so far of the summer transfer window, and the one I'm most excited about, Eugene Boyco. Look at those stats. He is a Ukrainian forward player. Again, had to try and replace sort of the influence that Ricky J. Jones had on the squad, and this is an outstanding player. Really, really good. He's got 19 bravery. His mental stats are amazing. 17 technique, 12 finishing. His finishing could be better, but that will come. He's 20 years old. The rest of his stats look insane. Now, we paid quite a bit for him. We paid 16.75 million. Part of that is upfront. Part of that, I think there was more to that. Is there any way to look? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what we here we go. Is this it? I'm not sure. But we paid a lot for him. We've given him 54 grand per week. But he does have a release clause in there, which I'm going to try and get rid of as soon as I can. We'll regroup in sort of December, January time. Try and get rid of that release clause, as well as the relegation release clause. Although 25 million, I mean, if we get that for him, we've done very well. We've made 10 million profit. But I'm so excited about him. Eugene Boyco, he could be the man to keep us in the Premier League this season. And that is pretty much it so far. That's where we are sort of at. Again, I'm trying to take a little bit more control over this save now with regards to things like scouting, staff. The next thing I'm going to try and conquer is training. I might look at setting up my own schedules, trying to get just a little bit more out of the training sessions, although they've been pretty decent over the last year. We're going to continue with this with our tactic as well, the 4-2-4 as they've got it listed, but more like a 4-2-2-2. And we'll see where it gets us. I cannot wait. I'm going to try and breeze through the rest of pre-season. Although at the same time, really thinking about what I'm doing, who I'm signing, and if it's a good deal. I did nearly sign a striker, Troy Parrott actually. Nearly signed Troy Parrott, but the last second I thought, do you know what? It's not worth it. We've got our striker. We don't need anyone else. I think he's going to go to Bournemouth, which is fine. It's fine. But yeah, really happy with what we've done so far. Really excited for the season ahead. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And I hope you're excited for the season like me. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my transfers. Good, not good? Let me know. Cheers. Why did I just do a thumbs up?